Anywhere you go, give it on. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Nagoya. Nagoya is the largest city in the Chubu region of Japan. It is the fourth most populous city in Japan, with a population of 2.3 million in 2020, and the principal city of the Chukio metropolitan area, which is the third most populous metropolitan area in Japan with a population of 10.11 million. Located on the Pacific coast in central Honshu, it is the capital and most populous city of Aichi Prefecture, with the port of Nagoya being Japan's largest seaport. In 1610, the warlord Tokugawa Ieyasu, a retainer of Oda Nobunaga, moved the capital of Owari province from Kiyosu to Nagoya. This period saw the renovation of Nagoya Castle. The arrival of the 20th century brought a convergence of economic factors that fueled rapid growth in Nagoya during the Meiji Restoration, and it became a major industrial hub for Japan. The traditional manufactures of timepieces, bicycles, and sewing machines were followed by the production of special steels, ceramic, chemicals, oil, and petrochemicals, as the area's automobile, aviation, and shipbuilding industries flourished. These factors made the city a target for air raids during the Pacific War. Following the war, Nagoya's economy diversified, but the city remains a significant center for industry and transport in Japan. It is linked with Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka by the Tokaido Shinkansen, and is home to the Nagoya Stock Exchange as well as the headquarters of Brother Industries, Ibanez, Lexus, and Toyota Tsusho, among others. Nagoya is home of educational institutes such as Nagoya University, the Nagoya Institute of Technology, and Nagoya City University. Famous landmarks in the city include Atsuta Shrine, Higashiyama Zoo and Botanical Gardens, Port of Nagoya Public Aquarium, Nagoya Castle, Hisaya Odori Park, and Nagoya TV Tower, one of the oldest TV towers in Japan. It will be the third Japanese city to host the 2026 Asian Games, after Tokyo 1958 and Hiroshima 1994. Toponymy. The city's name was historically written as Nagoya or Nagoya. One possible origin is the adjective Nagoyaka, meaning calm. The name Chukio, consisting of Chu plus Kyo, is also used to refer to Nagoya. Notable examples of the use of the name Chukio include the Chukio Industrial Area, Chukio Metropolitan Area, Chukio Television Broadcasting, Chukio University and the Chukio Racecourse. History. Origins. Jomon period. In the Jomon and Yayoi period, the Oguruwa shell midden was discovered before the settlement of Nagoya. Kofun period. In the Kofun period, Nagoya was settled and the Danpusen Kofun and Shiratori Kofun was built in this area. The Atsuta Shrine is of ancient origin. It is home to the imperial regalia of Japan, the legendary sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi. According to traditional sources, Yamato Takeru died in 113 AD. The possessions of the dead prince were gathered together along with the sword Kusanagi, and his widow venerated his memory in a shrine at her home. Heian period. The Seigan-ji was built by the Fujiwara clan in the late Heian period. A member served as the head priest of the nearby Atsuta Shrine, one of the legendary shrines of Japan. It is believed that Yura Gozen, also known as Urahime, a daughter of Fujiwara no Suenyori, was married to Minamoto no Yoshitomo, and their son Minamoto no Yoritomo's birthplace is Nagoya. He is also the founder of the Kamakura Shogunate. Feudal period. Azuki Momoyama period. Oda Nobunaga and his protégés Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu were powerful warlords based in the Nagoya area who gradually succeeded in unifying Japan. In 1610, Tokugawa Ieyasu moved the capital of Owari province from Kiyosu, about 7 kilometers away, to a more strategic location in present-day Nagoya. In May to June 1560, the Battle of Akehazama took place in Dengakuhazama, Owari province, which was just outside of what would become Nagoya City. In this battle, Oda Nobunaga defeated Imagawa Yoshimoto and established himself as one of the leading warlords in the Sengoku period. Early modern period. During this period, Nagoya Castle was constructed. built partly from materials taken from Kiyosu Castle. During the construction, the entire town around Kiyosu Castle, consisting of around 60,000 people, moved from Kiyosu to the newly planned town around Nagoya Castle. Around the same time, the nearby ancient Atsuta Shrine was designated as a way station, called Miya, on the important Tokaido Road, which linked the two capitals of Kyoto and Edo. A town developed around the temple to support travelers. The castle and shrine towns formed the city. Modern period. Meiji period. During the Meiji Restoration, Japan's provinces were restructured into prefectures and the government changed from family to bureaucratic rule. Nagoya was proclaimed a city on October 1, 1889, and designated a city on the 1st of September 1956, by government ordinance. Nagoya became an industrial hub for the region. Its economic sphere included the famous pottery towns of Tokuname, Tajimi and Seto, as well as Okazaki, one of the only places where gunpowder was produced under the shogunate. Other industries included cotton and complex mechanical dolls called karakuri ningyo. Taisho period. Mitsubishi Aircraft Company was established in 1920 in Nagoya and became one of the largest aircraft manufacturers in Japan. The availability of space and the central location of the region and the well-established connectivity were some of the major factors that lead to the establishment of the aviation industry there. Pacific War and post-war years. Nagoya was the target of air raids during the Pacific War. The population of Nagoya at this time was estimated to be 1.5 million, fourth among Japanese cities and one of the three largest centers of the Japanese aircraft industry. It was estimated that 25% of its workers were engaged in aircraft production. Important Japanese aircraft targets were within the city itself, while others were to the north of Kagamigahara. It was estimated that they produced between 40% and 50% of Japanese combat aircraft and engines, such as the vital Mitsubishi A6M0 fighter. The Nagoya area also produced machine tools, bearings, railway equipment, metal alloys, tanks, motor vehicles and processed foods during the war. Air raids began on April 18, 1942, with an attack on a Mitsubishi Heavy Industries aircraft works, the Matsuhigecho Oil Warehouse, the Nagoya Castle Military Barracks and the Nagoya War Industries Plant. The bombing continued through the spring of 1945, and included large-scale firebombing. Nagoya was the target of two of Bomber Command's attacks. These incendiary attacks, one by day and one by night, devastated 15.3 square kilometers. The 21 Bomber Command established a new U.S. Army Air Force record with the greatest tonnage ever released on a single target in one mission, 3,162 tons of incendiaries. It also destroyed or damaged 28 of the numbered targets and raised the area burned to almost one-fourth of the entire city. Nagoya Castle, which was being used as a military command post, was hit and mostly destroyed on May 14, 1945, followed by the Yokkaichi bombing in June 1945. Reconstruction of the main building was completed in 1959. Later in the same year on July 26, 1945, the Enola Gay also dropped a conventional pumpkin bomb in the Yagodo area of Nagoya as part of a bombing raid in order to train for their mission to Hiroshima. In 1959, the city was flooded and severely damaged by the Aizuan typhoon. Contemporary period. After the war, the city was able to rebuild and take up its role again as one of the country's leading industrial and manufacturing centers. It became known as the Houston and Montreal of the Orient. It also plays an increasing role in the meetings, incentives, conferencing, exhibitions industry, hosting the Expo 2005 and the Nagoya Protocol Conference in 2010. Geography and administrative divisions. Geography. Nagoya lies north of Ise Bay on the Nobi Plain. The city was built on low-level plateaus to ward off floodwaters. The plain is one of the nation's most fertile areas. The Kiso River flows to the west along the city border, and the Shonai River comes from the northeast and turns south towards the bay at Nishi Ward. The human-made Hori River was constructed as a canal in 1610. It flows from north to south, as part of the Shonai River system. The rivers allowed for trade with the hinterland. The Tempaku River feeds from a number of smaller rivers in the east, flows briefly south at Nanami and then west at Odaka into the bay. The city's location and its position in the center of Japan allowed it to develop economically and politically. Climate. Nagoya has a humid subtropical climate with hot, humid summers and cool winters. The summer is noticeably wetter than the winter, although rain falls throughout the year. Area. Wards. Nagoya has 16 wards. Demographics. One of the earliest censuses, carried out in 1889, counted 157,496 residents. The population reached the 1 million mark in 1934 and as of December 2010 had an estimated population of 2,259,993 with a population density of 6,923 inhabitants per square kilometer. Also as of December 2010 an estimated 1,019,859 households resided there, a significant increase from 153,370 at the end of the Pacific War in 1945. The area is 326.45 square kilometers. Its metropolitan area extends into the Mie and Gifu prefectures, with a total population of about 10 million people, surpassed only by Osaka and Tokyo. Surrounding municipalities: Aichi Prefecture, Ama, Kani, Kasugai, Katanagoya, Kiyosu, Nagakute, Nishin, Obu, Oharu, Owariasahi, Seto, Tobishima, Togo, Tokai, Toyoke, Toyoyama.